Just maybe, I might not have to sell my books, said Lisa, as we started with the next episode of Floodplain World End Economica. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode, and let's get back into this emotional scene. Huh? Thanks to how? From the sounds of a cloth rustling, I knew that Hagana had raised her head. Along the way, you could almost hear the sounds of her face crunching up at Lisa's words. How seems to be working properly. Well, I wonder if it's called work. I don't really get it, but in any case, it's earning money, quite a bit of it. Really? Really? Even I'm a bit surprised. It was quite a bit of money. It seemed like Hal was afraid and didn't say anything. It makes sense if you can't trust Hal when he can't trust you. Do you understand what I'm saying? When I peeked into a room, Lisa was combing Hagana's hair with her fingers, whilst caressing Hagana's stubborn face. But Hal said he'd lend us the money he worked hard to gather under certain circumstances. A whole 50,000 moles, you know. At Lisa's words, Hagana made a pained face. Hagana thought she was unable to gather that sort of money by herself, and no choice but to sell herself. But as you know, Hal's got that rather level-headed personality, so there are conditions. Huh? Is it you lending me your skills? Huh? Hagana was clearly surprised. Her eyes had been on the verge of sleep as Lisa brushed her hair, but now they were wide open. Do you understand? Hal is saying he wants to borrow your skills. Mine? Yes, your skill at maths. If Hagana had been quite literally purchased from Earth and brought here from math abilities, then the proposal was a very awkward one. I had absolutely no intention of saying I wanted to buy her powers. Lisa had also confirmed the very point thoroughly with me. It seems he wanted to say it much sooner, but you got furious and shouted and kicked him with a leg, so he couldn't say it. Hagana sulked childishly and looked down. Lisa laughed, and her gaze drifted up whilst keeping her head down. I don't think there's any other conditions than that. Hagana, someone truly needs your one best skill. And that would save Lisa, moreover, be useful to me. And probably would even save Hagana herself. If her skills in maths could bring success in trading, then Hagana would have found a way to make money by herself. The same thing as obtaining a tool to solve many of the problems that caused her pain up for so long. Hagana. She so looked up when Lisa called her name. What would I do? What, There, Lisa's words hesitated. Inside I was a bit exasperated, but Lisa didn't seem very knowledgeable about this sort of thing. There was no helping it. How? Lisa called out. As I sat next to a door frame with her back to a wall, I answered her. What? Explain things to Hagana, please. Lisa's words I half rose and then stopped short. Does that mean I can go over there? She probably didn't want me to see her teary face. Lisa laughed a bit when I asked her that question, as it contained a bit of self-deprecation. How about Hagana? Lisa asked the question, and apparently Hagana whispered something in her ear. After a bit of whispering, Lisa answered. Can you wait just 10 minutes? Huh? Fair enough, I suppose she wants to make herself reasonable. When I replied, Lisa left some words with Hagana before standing up. Then sticking her head out of the room, she looked down at me and spoke. A lady needs time to be presentable. Is that so? Just wait a minute, okay? Still seated, I dropped my shoulders and made her go back to my room while shaking my head. She called out to me from behind. How? Now what? Thank you. Saying that when I turned my head around, Lisa then popped back into her room. For a while I continued to stand looking backwards. It's not like we solved any issues at that very moment. But even then, the run-down and rusty gears seemed to start moving together again. Whether they'd end up turning smoothly, no one knew. However, as I returned to my room, a lightness was in my chest. Lisa called for me 10 minutes later and went out to the living room. I'm sorry. Those were the first few words she said to me when we instantly returned to the living room and faced Hagana with a table between us. It was so sudden I forgot to breathe. Her eyes still had traces of crying and her lips were still somewhat suddenly tight with stubbornness. Hagana didn't look at me and stared at the table, but I clearly heard her say she was sorry. When I looked at Lisa haltingly, she had a satisfying smile at her face. I apologised. When Hagana finally opened her mouth, that was what came out. Her smiling face remained frozen that way, but I was more relieved of those words. I heard. When I said that, she finally looked at me. That usual piercing gaze was the same, but a sharp, stray cat-like suspicion wasn't there. It was more like a kid who'd been stubborn and on a brave face. So how? You find this too, right? It's good. I shrugged. Well then, can you explain things more concretely? I don't really get it with just one run through. Without embarrassed laugh, she probably really didn't understand her stuff very well. But if that were true, but I remember Lisa trusted me despite not really grasping what I'd said. It's not difficult. Win investment contest, get 200,000 moles. When I said that directly, Hagana's eyes went so wide, I looked almost round. There's a thing called stock investing, right? A simulation to that. Compete with other people, and the guy who earns the most wins. First prize is 200,000 moles. Second is 50,000. So we just have to get second, right? Third place gets 30,000 moles, which I'd be thankful for. Lisa pressed her lips together lightly and urged me with her hand to go on. But I don't know anything about those stocks. Hagana was the only one who interrupted. She was glaring at me bravely when I saw that she was uneasy. Somehow, once you noticed these inconsistencies, Hagana really did seem unsteady and fragile. You're smart, aren't you? It seemed like she had the strength left to handle my jabs. Compared to you, brat. Hagana! Lisa gave me a short warning. Choking off her words with a small ooh. She looked at Lisa. She looked at me. Compared to you, Hal. There's no problem. Because the rules are very simple. Really? Lisa was the one who asked. Basic idea is to buy stock when it's low and sell when it's high. Simple, right? Both Lisa and Hagana looked at each other quickly, then turned to look at me at the same time. That's really all there is. Of course, there's a way to sell high and buy back when it's low too. That's choice later. Right now, we're basically going to talk lie elsewhere. As I spoke, I worked with a laptop and drew up a stock displaying its trading information. It's the most famous company on the moon, World Industries. Look at stocks closely, it boils down to one thing. This company's stock, let's say tomorrow, the day after, or even the next few minutes. In any case, sometime in the future, if you can predict where it will be higher or lower, you'll be able to profit from it. Spinning the laptop around, I set it in front of Lisa and Hagana. She looked like she was getting a headache just from glancing at the numbers and graphs, but Hagana peered intently at it, like a cat peering into a mirror. There's a number of places to get clues. Leaning over, I turned the laptop halfway towards myself. She looked at me and went up the laptop. First? How? Why don't you come over here? Well, it isn't hard to explain like that. Saying that, she got out of her chair and walked to the other side of the table. It's to say, my side, and sat next to me. I was absolutely no good at this stuff. Lisa said that with true distaste. For some weirdo who came to the moon to learn about religious history, she probably didn't mix well with the moon colony's biggest alchemic art. At the very least, listen. As I spoke, I got off my chair, went over to where Lisa had been sitting. For an instant, I think the swinging Hagana might object, but she paid me no heed and continued to look at the information. Those black eyes of her, with laptop screens and white light reflecting them, shone like jewels. When I sat next to her, I spun my laptop towards us. Drawn by that, Hagana's face followed it as if she really were a cat. As if she'd only now realised where I was, she gave me a brief glance before turning back to her screen. Okay, so stocks have a price. Weekdays from 9 AM to 5 PM, they're traded. When there are lots of buyers, the price goes up. When there's lots of sellers, it goes down. Obviously. Right, but it's hard to predict that obvious thing. Her eyes were wide with curiosity and looked steadily at me. Why? Because no one really knows what a company would be making a profit or not. Stocks are essentially a piece of ownership in a company. If you buy up all the stocks in a company issues, then you become the owner. If your company makes a profit, and you control the company, then it's silly if you don't become rich, right? That's why the stock profitable companies go up. If they don't profit, it falls. Exactly. However, whether a company is profitable every single day, no one, not even the company's workers, know. Take World Industries, for example. On the moon and the Earth, they have around 300,000 workers. If you add in their partners, there's 1 million. Every last transaction we make is impossible. Then what do we do? Dunno. Everyone guesses and trades. Hagana looked at her laptop and glared at me. Lies. It's true. But then... Hagana said that and looked back at the screen and back at me. Everyone's betting money on this, aren't they? Yep, that's what we're guessing very seriously. And Lisa sitting across the table heard this. She gave a little laugh. There's a number of ways to guess. One is to research a company and decide whether it's profitable or not. This World Industries is the only company that can repair the space elevators. Every year, a huge amount of money is sure to come in. On top of that, we're involved in much of the development of lunar surface. It's an ultra top ranked company. They also make the dome. That was on me when we went to buy clothes. When I thought about it, remembering that conversation, it made me a bit happy. Yep, we also made with 2 skies. Amazing. Yep, it's an amazing company, and everyone thinks it'll still be profitable. Then, we just have to buy this. Basically. But it's obviously that it's profitable, so everyone buys it. When everyone buys it, the profit goes up. When that's the case, the pricing got past the price where it should be. See, where's this PE here? Yeah. With stock ownership of a company and a company had 100 shares, then 1 share would be worth about 1/100th of a company. Yep. Now the profit of a company divided by the shares would give an indication whether the share price was high or not. I play with a laptop screen and enlarge the selected part. If 1 share of a company was earning 10 moles, the stock price was 1,000,000 moles, or another company was earning only 10 moles, priced at 20 moles, which would you buy? Lisa was already clutching her head in her seat. Meanwhile, Hagana, without the slightest bit of doubt, looked at me directly and spoke. The 20 more stock. Right. The amount of money paid out, the amount of money earned is different. No matter how great the company, if the stock price continues climbing faster than it profits, then it will inevitably be hit an appropriate price. I'm supposed to predict that? With maths? Nope. When I said that, Hagana's brows furrowed. It probably seems like I was being spiteful, or explaining things in a roundabout way. But sure, Hagana didn't feel upset as she looked. For some reason, I just felt that. But now you got a sense of what stocks are, right? Just a part so you explain how. Hagana decided to change her tone halfway through her own. Lisa had an extremely happy smile, and of course Hagana didn't miss that. She made little embarrassed glances at Lisa, but Lisa got up from her chair and looked back at me in relief. So in general, predicting stock involves deciding whether or not it will be profitable or not. But like I said before, no one knows what's going on every day, let alone next month or every year. Been to some ultra top ranked companies that had an accident, paid a definite amount of compensation, and went out of business. That happens quite a bit. That's why everyone uses a different method of predicting. Maths? Ah, calm down. When I laughed, Hagana made a face like I'd flicked her nose with my finger. It's actually quite a cute face, actually. Flick. I'll show my mouse at the moment, but I'll turn it off for this recording because it gets in the way. It doesn't really do anything anyway. Then she came back to herself and glared at me. From her pout on her lips, she was saying what I was embarrassing. If I didn't explain some other things first, it's hard to explain why. In my words, Hagana hesitated a little, but eventually nodded. Now here is a graph of the stock price. Returning to the information page, I indicated the zigzagging line in the centre of the screen. Every day the stock price is plotted, and the points are all connected. They call these the charts. It's all choppy. Exactly. But because World Industries is profitable, it's overall going up in value. Yeah. For other companies, it doesn't work that way. For example, this one. Or this, and so on. Yeah. So there's many graphs as our kinds of stock, and times of trades. Thousands of stock, decades of time. And so? And so some bored fellow noticed one day. In the centre of that chart was a few distinctive things. She stared at me and looked at a chart on the screen. The most famous one was this head and shoulders thing. See how in the centre there's a mountain, on both sides there's small mountains? Isn't that like a person's head and shoulders? Somewhat. When this shape comes up, the big mountain is often the peak for a price. In the future, the chances are it's going to slide right down our high. Really? That's what I say. I don't get mad, I'm saying that from the looks of the past charts, there's a way to predict what would happen in the future. She looked like a kid used to be being tricked and being very cautious, but she managed to nod. It was there that Lisa, who stood up from a chair to do something by a sink, came over with Coco. And the method of predicting this or that with a graph uses a form of maths. For example, the expression changed. See, how is a smooth line behind the jagged one? That's also a stock price. That's called a moving average. For example, you start on May the 1st, and from there take the last 30 days of prices and plot the average. But next to it on May the 2nd, you take the last 30 days of the next prices and plot that. When you do that, the line becomes quite smooth. Yeah. Even if the daily movements are really zigzaggy, when you average out like this, you can sort of tell whether it's going up or down or sideways. Oh, I remember doing this in stats actually when I was in college. I remember I used a little bendy ruler. I still got it in my drawer actually. It's a way of trading where you just from those big movements. The big line is trending upwards, and it feels like it's going up forever, doesn't it? The guy looks at the graph and nodded sincerely. So there's a way of trading where guys with too much time on their hand look at the charts of companies over the days, by looking at the moving averages, predict whether things will go up or down. That kind of calculation isn't hard. I'm supposed to do that. Well, you could, but given enough time, I mean I could do that. Analysing charts is apparently the first thing beginners in stocks do. When you open an account, you use a tool that has tons of famous charts analysing tools built into it for free. But before I started trading, I tried using it for a few things. I wasn't sure that none of them was any useful. So things I want you to try and do is a step beyond this stuff. Beyond? Yeah. Do you ever see the space elevator service diagrams? She blinked at my question. The space elevators? Yeah. That thing shows predictions about whether trash would strike at it right. Yeah. Physics can predict the insanely accurate movements of a tiny lump that's flying around in orbit a few tenths of a kilometres a second. It's predicting the future, right? I don't really know much physics, but probably, yeah. If that's the case, there seems to be some that think that we might be able to predict the movement of stock prices with maths, just like with heavenly bodies. She looked quietly at me, then looked at the screen. You essentially find formulae that draw this graph. Exactly. Whether it's possible, I don't know. However, in the world, there are those who are making a huge profit with such a method. Can it be done? Her question was natural. Even myself I was half believing, half doubting. However, it was better than doing nothing. Infinitely better. Even if we didn't know whether or not we'd reach our destination, as long as we didn't move, we'd never get there. Because of that, I myself ran away from my home village. I don't know. When I answered, Hagana grimaced and looked at me. Feeling Hagana's gaze on my cheek, I looked at the screen and spoke. But it's not about whether or not we can or can't. Huh? We have no choice but to do it. In the corner of my eye, I could see that Hagana was stunned. Her mouth tried to move and say something, but words didn't form and the lips chewed the air. Besides, the prize is 200,000 moles, no entry fee. Is there a reason we shouldn't participate? She'd been lamenting over how her strength at maths was so powerless at solving real-world problems. This investing contest would definitely become a tiny lead to Hagana finding a way forward. Of course, I would reap myself forwards as well. While looking at me, she held her breath. From there, she looked at the computer screen out of the corner of her eye and looked back at me. Her face was frozen stiff like she'd been left from her mother of all freezers. However, Hagana was staring at me. Those black eyes kept looking steadily at me. The moon wasn't a nice friendly place that carried people that didn't walk on their own feet. However, those who try could have their hands held. I gazed back at Hagana, and then Hagana said this. Out of 5,421. What? I had managed to derive all the way to 3,227th. There wasn't one I couldn't solve. It took a full 10 seconds to realise she was talking about a maths theorem since she continued to revive in a room for the longest time. Hagana spent that time with determination. Or perhaps, while a girl had been sold to the moon, it took that much courage. Therefore, it should be solvable. Lisa said Hagana was a serious girl. I'd thought she was just stubborn, but when I realised that Hagana was clutching her fist fiercely beneath a table, I accepted Lisa's words. It should be solvable. Hagana repeated that and closed her eyes. I sensed strength in that pose because I knew just how defiant Hagana was. When she opened her eyes, Hagana took a clear step forward. Teach me all the rules. Accepting those words, I answered. You got it. I was feeling that Lisa, who sat on the sofa after making cocoa, was smiling as she watched us. However, even though Hagana asked me to teach her, there was very few things I could actually explain using words. It's because I was the type of trader who looked at prices every day, read the news, then rode on the field or market. If you ask me when I made a trade, I don't need to say other than I'll just look to how everything felt. I'd thought about explaining everything about a trading system once through. I thought just how I'd have to explain various things. It became a huge job. Even just going through the list of typical indicators that had effect on stocks and a huge amount of material. From interest in exchange rates, energy prices, things that affect stocks on a broad level, to gold and silver prices, to soybeans, wheat and commodities market, then there were major market indices and dividend payments. By the time I explained the minutiae of different stock, types of ownership and ratios, I was exhausted. Once I thought about it, I realised I'd pretty much explained in one sitting everything I'd spent months researching. Hagana had an unbelievable memory and remembered it all. What's this? That? How is that related to the thing from before? She'd asked me as we went. And then she'd quickly absorb it all. If Lisa hadn't said to call it a day, Hagana might have squeaked his information out of me all night. On that note, the next day I woke to the sound of Hagana knocking on my door. Who is it? It's the end of the episode, that's how it is. Well, thank you very much for watching. We seem to be moving forward with a storyline. The inevitable point has happened. Hagana is going to be helping. And we're trying to save Lisa. Lisa's soul, her books. Well, as ever, thank you very much for watching. My name has been Fuds. Have a wonderful day. Bye bye.